we have match number 1. It's going to be Furia versus FaZe. Here's a quick intro onto that match. Oh, looks like we're having some technical issues. Ollie, why don't you give us your thoughts on what you're expecting from this match, though, first of all? Because obviously, our number 1 Furia superfan right here.
Well, it's a little bit of a tricky one for Furia. It's a classic example, and it's a game that we often sort of categorize as a young and up-and-coming team going up against a Titan or a bit more of a veteran inside of the scene. And that's really what we've got here. Furia have never been able to beat FaZe in a match. If you look at their head-to-head over the last, since day dot, since these two teams started playing against each other, FaZe have been able to get the win every single time. Now, that obviously doesn't tell the full story. There's no overtime in there. There's 2 7-5s. It isn't as clear-cut as it might seem, but FaZe are the ones that are going to be remembered the winners. So Furia is still searching for a win here against FaZe. And let's be honest, Furia have played shocking this weekend. Like, really, really bad. And that wasn't what we were expecting from these guys at all, given the stage that they've had, given that up until, I think, last week, they'd come away with points out of every single game. To then come into this weekend and to lose 2 games very convincingly was a little bit of a surprise to everybody. So I think there's a question mark over Furia. We need to see what it is that's going on there between those guys. If it is a case of the hiding something for the Copa Elite 6 because they maybe have their eye on the major coming up in November, that could be a factor. But you want to be going in with the right sort of mental mindset as well, and you need to be going in there knowing that you're coming into a run of good form. So a big question really for Furia going into this one tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tricky one for them. And we should probably bear in mind here, Demo, if FaZe are able to win this matchup, that locks them into first place, the best seeding coming out of the BR6. And obviously taking it for the year, that's got to put them in really good standing going into the Copa Elite 6.
Yeah, I think FaZe have been so good. So good. Maybe not the FaZe that we were expecting, especially considering that they didn't make it into top 4 for the major last split. But they've come back with a massive bite. The vengeance is real for FaZe, and they've beaten everyone apart from Santos, surprisingly, who are a team that's currently in contention for relegation. Santos are currently in this split the worst side of the team who has got the least amount of points. And FaZe lost them. I still have to hark back to that game. It shouldn't have been one that FaZe lost, but maybe that was a wake-up call, what they then went on to do in every single game they played.
It might have been a good point to really kick them into gear, because it happens a lot of the times where when you're at the top of the standings, teams can start to get complacent. I don't think that we can have FaZe afford to underestimate this one, though, Ollie, because, Furia could very easily come out on top. When we hop into the map vetoes, I want to know, what are you thinking in terms of where we could be ending up? Do you think that we go for something FaZe are very confident on and they play regularly, or maybe go for something a little bit less common so they can just keep working on that map pool, grow it out a little bit more going into the Copa Elite 6?
Very possibly. We've seen a couple of maps that haven't really been played a lot up until this weekend, really, inside the BR6. So there's a chance we get to go somewhere that we haven't really spent too much time just yet. Cafe ban straight off the rip from FaZe is a bit of an interesting one. Furia are one of the teams that have played a good bit of Cafe so far. Villa, Chalet, Oregon all ringing on through. So we are left with a clubhouse, a bank. Still potential for this to be a bank or a coastline. Clubhouse there getting removed by FaZe. Furia deciding to get rid of bank. We've not seen Furia on bank yet, but we have seen FaZe. Coastline to be the decider. It's an out-and-out frag fest. It really is exactly what we want. Honestly, I could watch every single one of these games on Coastline here tonight because I just want to see these teams going at it. And I think, really, if you're going to look at who this is going to benefit, probably going to benefit FaZe. Look at the way that they've been conducting themselves, their performance, their consistency so far, especially leading up to this weekend, has been second to none. You take a look over at Furia and you really start to worry about some of their abilities to win gunfights. That has not been a problem on FaZe. You want to look at top-rated players, look at Bullet, look at Souls, look at Cyber. They're all 3 inside of the top 10. FaZe, one of the only teams that has 3 players inside of this top 10 rated players, and they're all putting in a massive contribution. All it's going to take is for a couple of those guys to have a good game, and I really start to worry about Furia for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, Demo, you can go and look at the highlights. Obviously, this one, we even played it earlier from Bullet, this huge play that he was able to make. And it seems like FaZe are just one of those teams when they're in those high-pressure situations, they're just able to clutch it out. They're able to make these insane plays that they shouldn't be able to get away with, but just because it's FaZe and they're so confident in their ability, they can do a lot. The question is now, can they wrap up the stage and the season strong, coming out on top and taking the win, and of course taking first place overall?
Yeah, Souls has been a big standout, of course, this year for them, sitting top of the table in terms of actual clutches, but I don't feel as if that FaZe have had to rely as much in clutches as what they maybe have done recently. I think their actual ability to refrag has really came on leaps and bounds. We see them go into rounds and they just absolutely clobber whoever it is they're against. Obviously, we still know that they can clutch and they have that potential. You know, just look at Souls, you know, swings, just does whatever he wants, but just been very, very impressed with FaZe, and I am very excited to see how they're going to do next week.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie, come on, Furia superfan right here. You know you can't underestimate Furia. Sure, they've had a rough weekend so far, but they're another one of those teams when it comes to just raw mechanical skill. They can surprise a lot of people, and, you know, even though they're up against our first place team in the form of FaZe Clan, I'm expecting big things from them. Even if they're not able to pull out the overall win, I'm sure they're going to be putting a decent amount of rounds and a decent amount of frags on the board.
Well, they've got two chunks. They've really got no choice here. They need to come out and they need to have a big showing. We need to see that depth that we know Furia to have. It isn't a team that relies on one hero play, but that seems to be what's happened in the last couple of weeks, right? You know, we've seen, you know, you can look way back until the Chalet game where they played against Ints. That was 4 games ago now. And that was, even then, just the fantasy show. We didn't see a massive, massive performance from everybody else. Now, granted, there's only so many kills to go around, but there was an occasion where me and Gio were talking and we were saying, it's just like Furia aren't winning some gunfights that we would expect them to be able to win. So I do kind of worry about, you know, where they're at the moment in terms of how that performance is going to translate. They do need a little bit more from everybody here. Players that have been, you know, on the cusp of putting in that sort of a shift. You want to look toward people like Miracle, people like Rare. They've still had relatively good seasons, but you look a little bit further down and you look at somebody like Lender, who we know to be a fragger, an out-and-out flex player, currently -9, 0.88 rating, not setting the world on fire.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? And when you're in the BR6, it feels like, look, you're playing 2 games a week. It can be hard at times to be able to get into the swing of things, to have those consistent matches. If you come in and have, you know, a bad day one, then it's hard to kick things back into gear. Demo, I do want to ask, though, a little bit on the topic of the map pool. FaZe Clan, obviously, having played Coastline a whole lot less than Furia have. Do you think that that'll work to their benefit or to their deficit? Because obviously, you know, FaZe Clan, they've got a 50% win rate. They've won 1, lost 1. Whereas Furia, they've got that 43% win rate, but they've just got a lot more practice on this map.
Coastline's very volatile at the moment. I think it is a map that just shuts down to whatever gunners want to show up on the day. Of course, I know that we've kind of mentioned that it's kind of turning into a much more structured play style, where we do see these support operators come into the fray, but you still can play it very aggressive. I think for FaZe and Furia, we know they have heavy hitters, they really do, but if we're going off current form, FaZe are hitting a lot more of their shots, and I think that's going to do them really well as we head into Coastline.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, isn't it? We've mentioned it so many times, Ollie, that it is a very frag-heavy map. It can be quite messy at times, and I think that both of these teams possibly going to be able to thrive off of it. We'll find out soon, though, because match number 1 of Super Sunday is underway. We're out on Coastline for Furia versus FaZe. Ollie, Demo, take it away.
Thank you, Chunks, here to kick off Game 1 today. Furia versus FaZe. Coastline is going to be where we end up. A little bit of Litoral, Demo. You a big fan?
I suppose.
Underwhelming response, I'll be honest.
You're not a little bit nervous?
Why?
Because obviously this is your team versus my team.
Oh, no.
Oh, have you just accepted fate?
I'm waiting for next weekend, I think. I think that next weekend's when like the super fan will come out again.
You think?
For the time being, I'm just chill. I'm sitting back.
No, I'm looking forward to this. Be a good game. 2 teams that are I would say on the opposite end of the spectrums, one team mudded this weekend, and another team on top of the world. So it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, people would favor FaZe Clan. I think that's a fair assumption. But then again, we know the caliber of Fury. We know what they're like. They can show up and they can cause issues.
Look at the bans. Maverick, Nomad, Valkyrie all coming in. Furia to ban Defender. Mirror. Good choice for the mirror ban. I think a mirror ban on Coast is going to be something that certainly sees quite a bit of play. Yesterday we saw a little bit of mirror in action as well. Furia kicking things off on the defense here. FaZe to start off on the attack. That Maverick ban sneaking in again, Demo. It's a bit of a cameraman special. Play the Maverick on this map. And at least prior to 6 pick, FaZe aren't actually going to be going for a hard breach. I wonder if they know that they should be. Still not. Not going to make attacking into Penthouse and Theatre any easier.
Yeah, the fact that we're not seeing Thatcher be brought by FaZe is a bit of a shock. Especially over Penthouse and Theatre, we know has been a favored bomb site inside of Brazil at the moment. And naturally, with Kaid being open, you're going to see that be brought by the defenders. And that's exactly what's happening right now for Furia. I don't know, maybe that 6th pick is kind of thrown off FaZe just a tad. Because, I mean, if you looked at that lineup from Furia, you probably weren't expecting to see Penthouse and Theatre simply because you didn't see a Kaid. So this might be a bit of a rude awakening from FaZe, but I still think FaZe will have enough to really deal with this. One thing that you can do to eliminate the Kaid charge if it is causing you issues is just take Kitchen. You have a buck, go below, and you can simply open up the vertical angles and then just shoot off the Kaid claw. So that can be an option for FaZe if they want to go for it. And looking at the drone placements, Ollie, it seems to be the case. Bullet has a drone in Kitchen, Cameraman has one downstairs in towards Jungle. So I think they might try and take Kitchen here and utilize the buck.
Possibly they're going to be able to at least remove it, but they've still not got anybody to actually open up the wall. That's going to be their biggest problem here. Seeing relatively direct approach, at least from Bullet, seeing if you can just catch anybody off on the rotation. Spoken so many times about the big window in Penthouse and just how damaging it can be. Cyber, he's got some drone information working ahead of him, and Rare is sat down in the dirt. Great opener there. Really good teamwork from FaZe. Astro on the drone and assisting. Fancy, he's giving the next fall. Might not even come to a point of opening up that reinforced wall, Demo. I don't think that FaZe are going to be worried at all. They've managed to find an opening too. Barely getting themselves into the building. Bullet from the window picks a third. We've not even seen a minute.
What is going on? Cyber got a little bit carried away and went for the swing in towards VIP, but now that's good information. They know where Highs is. We're going to see the ricochet off the concussions from those defeat. Another one gets dodged in as well, and will actually stun himself, though. Are we going to see the swing from the Echo? FaZe have slowed down just a little bit. Lenda pulls back a kill onto Bullet. And all of a sudden, FaZe are in a bit of a dry position, but now they have turned on the heat. And they've got full sight control. Landon gone. They know exactly where Highs is, and Cameraman will take advantage of it. My oh my, Ollie. FaZe have just walked in and picked up their kills.
They didn't even walk in for the first 3. They were just able to pick them off from the outside. Goodness me. I was a little bit concerned. I thought we were going to see a really long, drawn-out, slow round when FaZe didn't bring a hard breach. I thought that was going to be a really big detriment.
I thought they were going to have Buck with the hard breach gadget, looking at their lineup. I thought that's what they were going to bring.
As soon as we loaded in, you could see that it was flashes, and it was like, well, what are they doing here? So, bit of a strange one from FaZe in terms of lineup. They're rocking this no hard breach again. Obviously not too concerned. Furia dismantled. And the thing is, it's not even like they got taken out of sort of on off angles. Every single one of those deaths that Furia suffered was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be there at that point. Like, you're probably a little bit. Maybe Rare was the sort of exception to the rule there, but still, everybody that died on the side of Furia was just kind of caught flat-footed, and you're like, well, you can pretty easily be found out from that location.
This is kind of how Furia has been playing this weekend, though, Ollie, and that has been running around the map. That is the best way you can describe what this team has been performing, like running around the map, playing for kills. That's how I see it anyway. I don't know if you see it any differently.
I would agree, yeah.
But there's not really much to look at Furia and go, wow, that's genius. Wow, that's so unique. Just run around trying to get kills. That has been the name of the game. Look at it yesterday. Look at them against MIBR. The exact same circumstance. I mean, they were running around the map trying to play for kills on a map like Clubhouse. This should be a much more well-suited map for them. It is Coastline at the end of the day.
Slow around off the rip here. Bullet's got himself onto Ruins. Still that drone inside a jungle. It's such an obvious drone spot to check as well. This time, Rare isn't going to be taken out. Instead, he's going to be doing the taking out. He knows that there's a drone at least somewhere there. He's been able to remove Cyber. A big player here, especially when you're attacking into Hookah and Billiards. You're going to need that Buck Skeleton Key to get in underneath and start to root the players out. Now that Rare has been able to take him out, he can relax a little bit and just think, right, where is the next point of entry going to be made? Looks though FaZe are making it right about now. A great nade thrown in. If only it had been cooked for a little bit less. It was a little bit too well done, but I don't think that he was to know that Rare was challenging.
Yeah, well done, man, Ollie. Oh, well, there's your medium Rare right there. That's a great shot. Rare being able to get that swing, and my oh my, FaZe. They've now kind of been put in the mud all over inside the first minute. 2 players down. Of course, just keep in mind that how much this weighs for FaZe. If they want to finish first place, they need to go and win this game here and now. And don't give Liquid any chance of trying to pull back later on this evening. Furia, flawless rounds. A good response after what happened the first round.
It's going to be one of those games. It is going to be one of those games. Back and forth as much as you like. Flawless from Furia there. Rare commanded that Sunrise and Blue Bar. He was the king of that castle, and there was nobody that was going to be able to take him out of there. He grabbed the opener onto Cyber, who was then able to take down Astro. The positioning in and around was fantastic. Didn't have a lot of information going for him. Don't forget Valkyrie's banned. There's no outside camera giving him the heads up. Nobody was playing the pulse and saying this is where this person and that person is going to be coming from. Everything was just off the back of sound and concentration. Great job down there to be able to pick up those 3 kills. And at that point, the round was said and done. Fantasy grabs one upstairs. Final kill comes on in. And it really is all she wrote. Furia stick to the rotation. And they're going to take us down into Kitchen now.
Kitchen's been an interesting one. I think this has been more attacker-sided. At the moment. It definitely has dropped off in terms of playtime. Hookah is still as dominant as ever. Penthouse and Theater is kind of being the new go-to site. Sunrise and Blue Bar still has its fair share, but Kitchen certainly not as strong as it used to be, which is quite surprising, only considering that you can no longer fast plant on the delivery door. You actually have to run deep in, so that would actually make it more defender-sided, but it really hasn't played out that way, which is surprising.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you say you remove that sort of 5 meters where you can plant right near the door, and you think, oh, that's going to be great for the defenders. But in reality, you needed that to be able to deny and Toxic Babe Canister, C4. Then you think about the changes upstairs in VIP. You go, right, well, we've got the new double wall to reinforce. That surely makes it even more defender-sided again. But all of these things are just almost more of a focus for the attackers and give them more reason to push in upstairs.
I do have one theory about it, and that is maybe because you don't have to worry about those delivery plants. We do see a lot more players actually off-site. Usually there's only one guy playing Anchor. And there has been a few times where we have seen somebody just walk into Kitchen, walk into delivery, and get that first pick. And then from there, full site control is in favor of attackers. And we know retaking Kitchen is always going to be a difficult job, especially whenever there's only 2 ways into the bomb site. Very, very difficult to deal with. So maybe that's another factor.
Ooh, Astro. Almost. A little bit of an elevated angle there. Was trying to make something happen with the LMG. Bullet opens up onto Miracle. Bit more direct site pressure coming in. Cyber going to be the next to fall. Only DBNO'd though. Cameraman moving in from the opposite side. I believe he's going to be taken out by Bullet there. I think that was his teammate
dear.
downing him. It didn't look great, I'll be honest. Souls and Bullet now the last two up. Make it just Souls. 2 players on the side of FaZe down and 3 for Furia. Fantasy moves on through. Souls in a position to revive but doesn't want to commit to it just yet. Fantasy hasn't got any information here. He's still got Highs and Rare both ready and waiting to assist. Souls has moved on up. He knows that there's somebody playing on the rotation. He's got the ping to work with, but he's just going to hold on to the angle for the time being. Lands the shot and looks to move through. The rest of Furia are miles away. For all intents and purposes, not involved at all. They have no intention of retaking here, and they've given so much space to Souls. How has he been able to get Cyber up? How does he pick up those 2 kills? Now Furia are really on the back foot. Highs, he has to try and push on through. Does manage to dodge out of the stun. Souls is going to be getting the plant down. That's going to full white flash him, which is not ideal. This plant's going to be confirmed, and now it's going to be a retake. Prone player lying down. Highs finds it onto Cyber. Only a bullet or 2 needed to be landed, but it's a kill nonetheless. 1 versus 1 now. Locked into the engagement. Gets the glimpse. Hits the pre-fire. Misses his shots. Souls, that is why he's the best support player in the league.
Yeah, that was his round all day of the week. And Ollie, I kind of explain maybe a reason why we're seeing so many attackers win that bomb site. Perfect example. 1 guy on site, FaZe flooded in as much as they could. I think there was an unfortunate down, a team kill down happened inside that round also, but you can see that Furia, they struggled to get back into the bomb site. Perfect example of why Kitchen is maybe not the safe haven as what you would expect it to be for defenders. So FaZe played it very well, analyzed their opponent, seen that there's 4 people roaming. They don't want to deal with that, and they just flooded the site as much as they could. They got their kill on site. A couple of issues, but still, Souls, you have to respect him. The clutch factor that he has is incredible. It is. I do feel quite sad for Souls because I don't think that'll count as one of his 1vx's because there was a down player, of course.
It's true. It's true. It was a 3 versus 1.
I'm gonna count it as a clutch.
I think we should count it as a clutch.
So that's 11 this year.
3 versus 1. Like, you know, sure he's able to get one of his players up and make it a 2 versus 3, but still, Furia just dropped the ball so badly. They had no information. That was the biggest problem. They didn't have a Scooby as to where anybody was coming from. Highs was in Narnia.
He's looking at Sunrise.
Someone's
in Sunrise.
Worried about Sunrise. There's a Goyo shield in Sunrise and everything. They're not there. They've never been there.
Lack of info. And even you've seen the Kide as well. Just swinging into that rotation. No info at all. Yeah, big hit for Furia, but maybe that's why we're seeing FaZe with the Valkyrie ban. Good counter strat.
I'll tell you what would have been nice there. That little rotation that you made a big deal of yesterday.
Yeah, to get back. That's the thing. With that kitchen, there's only 2 ways in. Kitchen door or the bathroom door. A lot of teams then have been putting in a rotation hole on that triple wall. It allows you to extend into lobby, and you also have another way back. And that probably would have solved every issue that Furia ran into that round.
Astro's got himself into sauna pretty quickly. He's going to get Toxic Babe canistered out. Does have the option to pop himself back. Going to open up the line of sight. There's a cap can on the door. I'm sure he's going to have gotten rid of that. He did see it on the drone earlier. Pretty direct approach here from FaZe. At least for Astro. Souls is getting the plant down. Excuse me? The audacity of this man. He eventually gets taken out. Diffuser's going to be cold, but kills are still raining on through. 2 versus 2 now. Cameraman and Bullet both chunked down. The Diffuser in the site, in the default plant spot, but cold. Bullet next to fall. Cameraman looks to move through. He's going to be able to get in, but he needs the help of a breaching charge to do so. Could possibly pick Bullet up here. This is just a game of revives. Highs is holding on to the angle. Now with Bullet being allowed to be picked up, it's back to an equal 2 versus 2. And there's tons of time here for FaZe.
I think the big thing for Furia is they know where the Diffuser is. It is in a tricky position beside that single window inside the Sunrise. Highs has to win this engagement. He has to win this gunfight. He's holding on to that security door as well as he can, but FaZe aren't moving for the meantime. Cameraman almost waiting to see if even Highs is going to go for the swing, but neither of them are going to go for it. There is still a minute. You can see a yellow ping, so there might be some live information for FaZe still inside of Sunrise. That will bode well, but Rare still finds one onto Bullet. Cameraman swings in, finds the kill on the highs, and now we're into a 1 versus 1. Rare still has the Fuser in hand. He is inside of Sunrise. He's in a great position. We've seen there was some active information, some yellow pinks coming out. Is that still going to be up for them? Cameraman has a drone though, Ollie. This could be huge. If he finds out the information, or even set up the drone so his teammate can call for him, this could be big.
Cameraman's still got time to work with here as well. He hasn't got a great deal of health, but 20-odd seconds is going to be enough time to make something happen.
It's going to be mute jammers.
He used the breach charge. At least it's going to cause a distraction. He's actually going to choose to peek it. It's almost a double bluff now. You can tell that he hasn't got a lot of info here. He knows that Rare's going to be here somewhere. Pre-fires. Oh, he was so close. Rare does manage to win out that engagement. But those couple of bullets that flew through, honestly, if Rare wasn't in a left lean animation there, he would have lost his head.
Should have lost his head. That is so hard done. If you are FaZe in that round. Wow. That is a rough one. Whew.
Instinct
2-2.
on point there from Cameraman.
Like you said, Ollie, it's one of those.
Close stuff. Very close indeed. You got a feel for Cameraman there. Everyone always, no one likes getting wall bang headshotted through a soft wall, but when you're in that sort of position and when you're pre-firing, like, his instinct deserved the kill. Do you know what I mean? He made the right call. He just didn't get the kill.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Because I have no idea. I mean, if you look at how FaZe have been playing, very fast, very light on their feet, Ollie, not afraid to take the gunfights, that kind of plays into what Furia want. Furia want to fight fire with fire. You looked at Furia versus MIBR, again, they tried to play fire, but then they were up against a fire extinguisher. So that's never going to work. This is a much more favorable matchup for them in reality. FaZe, we've seen what they did yesterday whenever they went up against W7M. They were just in their faces 24/7 all the time trying to get that man count. Whenever FaZe are in like a 5v3 or a 5v2, we always see them win those rounds, Ollie. So FaZe want to take those open engagements.
Astro's been a player that's been looking quite keen on the entry as well, as obviously Bullet is filling that role too. We're always looking for those advantages externally in the first couple of seconds of the round. More often than not, they're at least finding the engagement. Some of the early drone work from FaZe has been fantastic as well. But in this round, it is going to be Fantasy to pick up that first kill. Takes down Souls. With it, Flores. Still able to hold on now to that Hall of Fame doorway. He is in position to Cade trick. All about whether he's got it off in time. A couple of EMPs have been tossed out there as well and not been successful. Double Selma will pop off. Going to give a lot of line of sight over to FaZe here.
So there's, of course, a switch up from the last time we'd seen this bomb site be played. FaZe are not going to just go for the gun-ho kind of play style. They will play a little bit more slow, a little bit more patient. That has worked well for them. Furia no longer have control of that penthouse and theater side of things. They don't have control of VIP anymore. You can see all of them have kind of been pushed away. They only have one guy inside of theater, and everyone else is off-site. However, I do like the positioning of some of the roamers. We're seeing a Goyo downstairs. Landa has a C4. C4s are the biggest issue right now of your FaZe. If you don't have downstairs control, you will get C4'd if you try and run in for that diffuser going down. So that's the only thing that I would say FaZe need to be cautious of. I wonder if they will actually play somebody down here to deny that. But it doesn't seem to be the case. All of them are upstairs.
Especially given that they've only got one nade left. It's going to be difficult to remove the shields that are going to be in play as well. Eyes can cause a little bit of havoc on the Yokai drone. Able to ping out. Cameraman dips off back, recognizing now that vertical might be something to be worried about. Not a lot of time remaining for FaZe to make this push happen. Blender lying in wait with the C4. He's going to throw it on through. Doesn't realize just how close he's going to be to Cameraman, but the cover fire is there. Rare in position to take him down. The plant can now start to go down, and there's going to be nobody to deny it, but the Yokai drone comes in clutch. Rare looking to make his way back on through. Still below, still with a C4, still a threat here for FaZe. Goes for the C4. It looks like it's going to be a little bit too short, and that's likely going to be the plant down. Now it's a retake. 3 versus 2 in favor of FaZe. Make it 2 versus 1, sorry, as a kill directly trades. Rare could have some info here as to where this is being held from, but it's going to be very difficult. Players repelled on the big window and over inside of VIP. Neither angles you really want to be trying to challenge onto, and you just know that the window player isn't going to give anything away. Reactivates the laser gate, giving the best possible chance here. But ideally, it needs to find a kill and needs to find it quickly. Inevitably shut down from the window. Bullet on that Overwatch with the covering fire. Going to be able to lock it in.
One of the more slower paced rounds that we have witnessed from FaZe on their attacks. Played it by the book, very simply. Nothing really too crazy from them. That's kind of like the standard. That's what we expect to see from attackers. Open up that VIP, deny access to any defenders playing inside there. Finally move your way over in towards penthouse. You have a very safe position planting on the bed. It kind of denies access to anyone looking for C4s. We've seen the C4 game tried to get played very heavily by Furia, but it just wasn't enough. The Echo was on the drones, fair enough, but Ollie, if Echo's on the drones, he doesn't have his gun up, and he's not killing. So you kind of get into the situation that we talk about Clash. That's one less gun that you have now defending the bomb site.
Yeah, I think Furia really felt full effect of that. Another round here, a chance for them to level things up with an equal 3-3. It's almost a surprise to see them go to Penthouse and Theatre again. I know that they lost it in the first round, and it was in part due to the fact they lost 3 opening kills very quickly. So they'll have felt like they've had a good chance at going back there. But the changes made from FaZe have been happy to bring hard breaches since that opening round, because I think they got a little bit debated in terms of where they were going. And FaZe have adapted and they've changed accordingly. So Furia really forcing Penthouse and Theatre, trying to make it work. It's not gone too well for them, really. Furia and Billiards now, though. They try to change their fortune and level things up at an equal 3-3.
Fantasy looking for a spawn peek, but that's not going to work for him. Astro is ready. That's a basic 101 maneuver. As a spawn peek as old as time, Ollie. And FaZe are happy enough to get that first pick, and that sets them up nicely for the rest of the round. FaZe, if they have that man advantage, Ollie, they are terrifying. They will tear you limb from limb. And I expect nothing less from this side at the moment. Furia running around. Again, look, we've got quite a bit of damage being done to highs. Even Miracles took a bit of a knock. So, again, Furia out hunting for those opening picks, but it's not working for them.
It's a shame because Furia don't really need to be chasing that opening engagement. More often than not, it's coming to them. FaZe are really on it with that entry, and they're not afraid to move through very quickly and start getting themselves into those fights. Losing Fantasy early on. Sure, it's not lost a great deal of utility. Those surrogates are going to be down, but you need a gun in the fight. Toxic Babe Canisters being used very early here. Astro going to look to remove some utility. Likely a Banshee just next to the billiards table there. A little bit of drone work going out, but FaZe are looking dangerous. They're looking like they're ready for a plant, and they've got a lot of information to do so with.
Yes, it's good structure from FaZe, making sure everything's checked off. They have luggage currently being held by Astro. He might have a visitor coming his way into baggage reclaim, but Astro's just going to wait. Looks as if the Landa doesn't want to maneuver, but talking about maneuvering, FaZe have wandered into the bomb site. However, Miracle has smoked out Souls, and Diffuser is cold on the ground, though. But look at the positioning, though. FaZe, they're inside of Billiards right now. I say that, though, Astro has been downed. And now it is going to be a 3 versus 3. I doubt that Astro will be picked up in time. Highs will finish him off. Toxic Babe has been able to get 2 kills, essentially, Ollie.
Unbelievable stuff. The Kona station's coming in clutch as well. Highs is now really worried about VIP. The Diffuser cold. Still a chance here for FaZe to try and make something happen. It's an equal 3 versus 3. They've just got to fight their way through the positions that Furia are holding. Pretty powerful indeed. Only now we're going to start to see a bit of pressure go into VIP. We've got cameraman over there on the sledge. He's going to try and get himself in. Bullet with a little bit of last-minute information gathering, and it really is. There's only 10 seconds left remaining. Burns the surrogate. Cameraman gets himself into the engage. Misses a couple of shots, but eventually takes down Highs. Rare next to fall, and it's all on to Miracle. The plant's now going down as Miracle is under increasing pressure. Can he make his way through that rotation? He's got to try and push up. It's going down in default. How has he been allowed to exit? Cyber gets out as well. Miracle now aggressively pushing through. But Cyber's going to get onto the rappel before he knows it. Miracle, he's just going to try and stick it. Cyber's below with the skeleton key. Miracle, have you got enough time? Eventually gets taken out. It was very close in the end. What a scrappy round, Demo.
My word, FaZe tried to initiate the fighting. Walked in. Toxic Babe gets 2 of them, Ollie. 2 of them. No support in Aqua. FaZe were looking pretty grim, Ollie. Really in the gutter. But then they're able to push in and kind of collapse, pushing down in towards the main corridor where you had then the push coming in from Hookah also. And then that plant being able to get down. I don't know if Miracle could have maybe inted a bit further and just went for the diffuser. If he just ran across, maybe that would have been his best option. I know it's a tricky one, especially considering his HP, but maybe that was his only option, was just to simply rush in and just try and play off luck that maybe some shots are going to be missed by FaZe, but I mean, FaZe, they managed to make it scrappy, but they still get the win nonetheless. 4-2 half for FaZe, that's on their attacking half. That's expected. Now Furia on the attack. This will fit them a lot better now.
What a scrappy game this has been so far, Demo. There's not really been a clear-cut favourite. FaZe have certainly had the clutch factor. That's the second round that they've really clutched out for themselves. The other being the Souls 1 versus 3 downstairs in kitchen. Only 3 rounds away from locking this one up. As you mentioned, they moved there onto the defense. Furia on the attack. Is this going to be what they needed? Unsure, honestly. I think the confidence levels from FaZe is going to be pretty high at the moment. They've clutched out a couple of big rounds there. They're going to be very happy. They've got their eyes firmly set on the prize. All they want out of this is that top spot inside of the BR6. And you can tell that that's what they're fighting for here.
Can Furia spoil the party? Can they ruin the run that FaZe have made? Maybe give Liquid a bit of a chance to sneak into that first position. Astro will lose that opening engagement to Fantasy, not expecting that quick office take, which even that is a little bit strange that FaZe isn't ready for something as common as somebody walking into office. I mean, that is the closest door to one of the spawn points on Coastline. So FaZe give away a very easy kill that could have been probably neglected, I think. Don't think they should have gave that one up. Souls, does he need to fight this? Probably not, but he's going to do it anyway.
He certainly doesn't need to fight with an SMG-11, I don't think. Maybe he could try and retreat a little bit. Furia have taken some early ground. Cameraman, brave on the window. The flank could be on here, though. That could spell disaster, depending on Fantasy's position. Cyber from above will be taken down. Miracle still going to be on the roof, watching out for those rotating players. Rare, what a great flick onto Cameraman, punishing him for dropping out and trying to run out of service door. We eventually do see the hatch drop from Bullet. FaZe are running on fumes in terms of information. They don't know where everybody is at the moment. Bullet knows that there's likely somebody on Cool Vibe stairs. Souls has rotated himself back into kitchen. Bullet gets a chance and lands the shots, takes down Highs, and can start to make a bit of a rotation. Finally, we're going to see an EE1D come in. I'm sure that Lender has just remembered that he's actually got that utility. They now need to start singling out exactly where Bullet is. Straight into the crossfire. Look at all the tracers intersecting across one another there.
Very easy from Furia. I think that first pick really set them up nicely. It was definitely a bit of a sweep for them. Like I said, Crossfire's working well. I think whenever you have that man advantage, it does make things just a heck of a lot easier. I don't think FaZe will be jumping at the bit, Ollie, to try and take that early aggression against Furia. Lenda, interesting pick. Will it be stuck, though? Of course not. Of course it's not going to be stuck.
I'd panic. I would panic if a team gone to the old Maru.
Irony of that is, of course, FaZe are known for that operator.
If anybody can be known for it, yeah, it's probably going to be FaZe, isn't it? FaZe or maybe NIP on Villa.
Maybe we'll see whenever the best of threes come out. See the Villas. I think probably next week we'll still have Bank Gully. I think Bank will make a big appearance. I think your Chalets also will be there.
We're certainly going to... I think Team 1 are going to want to play a lot of Bank.
I'd be surprised if we see Oregon. I'd be surprised if we see Coast. Be surprised, even though Cafe has been played as much this season, still would be surprised if we see that come out. Because again, LATAM just don't play that map.
I think we might see a little bit of CAF. I've just got a feeling. I think Liquid like it at the minute.
It'll be good to see, especially whenever the, of course, the whole Copa Elite 6, we have the group stages where we throw in our 2 Mexican teams and also our 2 Argentinian teams also. So we get to see a little glimpse maybe from some of those teams that it would be nice to see an Argentinian side or Mexican side break the mold and actually break into a major spot. What a storyline that would be.
Well, it very nearly happened, didn't it? For Mexico. Phoenix was so tantalizingly close, but it will happen one day. Make no mistake. Cyber and Rare. First 2 to fall here. By all accounts, Furia's attacks have not really been as explosive as FaZe. They've been getting in and amongst that early action, but some of the rounds that we saw from FaZe, it was not just 1, it was 2 or 3 kills in those opening few seconds. Fantasy looking to challenge onto the top of White Stairs. Got the information. There is a drone right there as well. Bullet, what are you doing? Just gets caught flat-footed. I think he was actually looking at the doorway, just trying to strafe around a little bit, but still taken out of action.
It's a tough one. FaZe now as they lose the even man advantage. Now they're a man down, and they're not in the greatest of positions, Ollie. Triangle formation being formed up. Cameraman maybe looking for a swing to pull back a kill for his side. He's going to rotate now in behind the bar, so the position just a little bit better. Be really surprised if anyone from Furia would like to target in towards the Cool Vibe stairs. And I think FaZe have also kind of jumped onto that conclusion because nobody's really covering that side. But as I say that, Ollie, Fantasy now has rotated downstairs, and he might be up for a bit of a wonder. Has a nade ready, can eliminate the Gun 6, or eliminate the Lucy charge with the Gun 6, should I say, sorry. Highs eliminates Cameraman, though, so that's the man behind the bar gun, and this is really where Furia could just sit back, get that diffuser down, and hold their angles for all they're worth. And C4 will connect. Miracle is off the board. Diffuser cold on the ground. And now Souls and Astro, can they hold on longer? Souls is not looking in good shape though, Wally. Look at his HP. You see the rotate from Fantasy. He's going to be on that double window repel now. And Souls has actually took a bit of a trip downstairs. Maybe trying to play the vertical angles. Has the shotgun in hand. But I think Fury have caught on to that idea. And they're pushing deep into the bomb site. Planting on that little bit of an indent where the wall is. A great shot by Astra. 2 versus 2. Can FaZe retake this? Diffuser is down. Fantasy finds Souls and Astro. They know exactly where he is, and they're both pushing him. Fantasy becomes alive in this round. Finishes off FaZe and makes this competition even closer.
Different player on attack today. Fantasy is exactly where his team need him. Pretty much at all times. Nearly, just nearly, another massive clutch from Souls as well. Again, not one that would be categorized strictly as a clutch, but in a disadvantaged situation, in a 2 versus 4, cracking C4, and a really good ability to rotate down, opening the hatch, dropping down and thinking, I ain't got any health, I need to try and play this vertically, need to try and play for the denial. Only a couple more seconds, and if Furia hadn't have pushed in so deep, it would have easily been taken out there as Souls made the right play. But we level up once again, 4 rounds apiece. Both teams constantly pushing the envelope here, trying to squeeze everything they can out of the rounds. Something that Furia have done very well since getting onto the attack, though, is that ability to trade. It's that ability to move on through the site and be in the right position. The buddy system's working very well for them. They regularly got a man advantage, at least one toward the end of the round. And it's really carrying them on through here. We're going to see the off-site choice for FaZe. They're going to go to Penthouse.
Yeah, Penthouse shifted over now for FaZe. Looking at their lineup, Ollie, they do have the kite. That doesn't bode well for Furia, though. Don't have the Thatcher in play. Don't really have anything to get rid of the kite charges, though, Ollie, which is a bit of a worry. Only thing I could think of is somehow, some way, get a Flores drone in. That would literally be it. Not much else they can do, but then again, look at Fantasy. He's on the prowl. I think they're not looking to open up walls, Ollie. They're looking to open up some skulls.
Really are Fantasy. You can see the drone working ahead at his feet, moving through into blue bar. Of course, does have the grenades, so could look to try and use them vertically. Match being open. Bit of a point of vulnerability for him. Needs to keep a mindful eye on that. There is going to be a player inside of security. Whether the drone has found that out yet or not remains to be seen. There's also going to be a player just on the half landing of Pool Vibes. So Fancy is getting pinched here. Gets the glimpse. Lands a bullet onto Cameraman. Look at this push. Lender coming in just at the right time from the opposite side. Pushing him through main lobby. Great opening roam clear. We got to see that beautifully there.
Furia. Just walking around, playing the same aggressive playstyle once again, Ollie. Even default cam is up for FaZe right now, so they do find out some information. Bit of a rookie mistake there from Furia, but in their current circumstance, I don't really think it matters. The fact that they've been able to get landed downstairs and utilize the IQ scanner to find out where that kite charge was in the wall is great. Very, very risky, though, to do. Talking about risks, that's a massive one from Astro swinging the breach as it gets opened up, and he will be punished. Fantasy Ollie has really came into his own this game. 14-5 currently is where he sits, and will he add any more onto that tally? Destroys the shield. Will now walk into Hall of Fame. Gets shut down by Souls, though. Souls in this Echo Ollie is a scary thing to deal with, and who knows, Furia, still the potential for a throw. Just looking at the position of Cyber, if he can find 2 kills, it throws everything out of balance.
Well, he's going to find one, and the second. He does just exactly that. You spoke it into existence, Demo. He wasn't able to finish off the player down inside of the bathroom, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. It puts a lot more pressure on Rare and Lender here. Cyber got some information. He got a glimpse. He tried to land a couple of shots, but was unable to do so. He's going to reload that MX4 Storm, as now he's in the 1 versus 2. He doesn't realize that Lender's pushed all the way around. Rare's made his way through Theatre as well. Furia, great push there toward the end. It was a little bit closer than maybe they would have liked it to be, but that efficient roam clear at the start of the round really impressed me. That was exactly what carried them through there. Fantasy and Lender working beautifully to take down both Cameraman playing inside of servers, and Bullet as he moved himself down the Cool Vibe stairs. And after that, the extended roam hadn't worked for FaZe at all. They were light on the site, and Furia were in there to take advantage.
They did indeed. I think Furia did good early game work, Ollie. Didn't really worry about FaZe at all. I think they were, again, playing off just sheer refrags. You can see the information was definitely lacking from Furia. The fact that we've seen Cyber swing and get those 2 instantly just kind of shows that they weren't really worried about drones or anything. They just played off active information from essentially trading each other 1-for-1, and I suppose in that scenario, whenever they did open up with the first 2 kills, they can afford to go for that. It is a risky strategy. It definitely is a big risk, but it worked for them in that round, and Furia have now been able to take the lead. Fantasy, massive work, all it has to be said. 14-6. This is the same Fantasy that we seen last week, and definitely not the same Fantasy we've been seeing this weekend.
Different player entirely. It's kind of worrying, right? Because you don't want to be known as that hot and cold player. You know, you want to be known as the consistent player. Like Souls. Souls is consistent. And Fantasy is like the opposite end of that spectrum where if he's on, he's on, and if he's off, he's really off. Oh my goodness, what have we just witnessed? Well, we got to see it from the explosion point of view. We didn't quite get to see the throw, but Cyber, take a bow. A cracking C4 off the rip. Rare and Highs, both taken out.
So this time it's kind of like the reverse of what we've seen last round. It was Furia who started off with 2 early kills, and now FaZe have responded with their own 2 early kills. Fantasy inside of office, uncontested, nobody near him right now. I was wondering, maybe he was looking for a bit of a wander into blue bar, but even that is reckless for a player of his caliber. All 3 members of Furia have now rotated towards office, and they will try and open up that blue bar wall, but that's not going to help them, Ollie. Even if they have that wall open, they cannot successfully go in for a plant as long as FaZe still have some form of control upstairs and also some form of control inside of lobby.
Yeah, Furia's options are severely limited here. Fantasy's doing his best. Be everywhere at once impersonation. He's got some live information. He knows that there's a player inside of Sunrise. They're just going to be playing in the sofa area. He's waiting for them to reveal themselves. The trigger discipline plays off, but Soul sits him down. Fantasy gets caught out there. The wall is now being opened, but it's looking like a flawless, and it will be confirmed as such. Astro, he's going to be the player to pick the final kill there. As he just flicks onto the window. Furia announcing their presence there. A very quick round for FaZe, and I think it was over within the first sort of 10 or 15 seconds. As soon as that C4 detonated, things weren't looking great for Furia.
No, not indeed. It was going to be tough for them. So 5-5 is where we sit. I don't want to know where this one goes now. I really don't, because it has been such a crazy game. I think a very, very good game of Siege. I think it has that kind of thrill factor that maybe you don't expect from maybe Furia. As we know, Furia, they're only focused on next week. But for FaZe, this is a very important game for their own personal achievements. To finish first in the year is a massive accomplishment for FaZe. It shows that you have been the most consistent team throughout the entire year. And if FaZe want to have that title, this is their only opportunity now, or else then it kind of lies in Liquid's fate.
I'm not sure how important the full 3 points would be here for FaZe. I think they've got a point advantage at the moment. Just have a quick look to see if that's going to have any significant bearing on it. 58 to 56. So ideally they do want a full 3 here. Either a full 3 points or 2 points. So an overtime win or a regulation win is really what FaZe are going to be looking for here. So there's chance right up until the bitter end. But obviously, whoever gets themselves this round is going to be the team guaranteed for a full 3. Well, guaranteed a chance, should I say, for a full 3 points. Cyber, he's at it again. He's found one onto Fantasy. Cameraman doubles down. He takes down Miracle. Another 2 opening kills here going in FaZe's favor. Demo, that could just be the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they've done extremely well, Ollie, to eliminate not only Miracle, the hard breacher, gone, but also Fantasy, the top performer, and Finka, we know, has a lot of utility that can be brought to the table. You have the Gon 6, you have the double nades. Furia look as if they're going to run into the same situation that they had the last round. And this is where FaZe, they don't lose these, Ollie, they just don't. FaZe, whenever they have this advantage, it's very difficult to shake them off it. Highs will pull 1 kill back with a nade from below, but he is unfortunately out of nades now. So Furia relying on a bit of a whim. They don't have really any utility, Ollie. They don't have any flashbangs. They have a couple of zero cams. That's really it. Ash isn't going to have an impact with the breaching round. That's not going to be a necessity for them. Gun skill is the only thing that Furia have going for them right now.
Let's see how far it can carry them. They've got half a round to try and make a plan here. There's plenty of information available. Blender, he's got the Argus cameras. Got 2 left and 1 out inside of VIP. Everyone on the side of Furia that's alive has actually got their drone up as well. I say that, Rare. Ends up on 1 HP after a little bit of an engagement there at the top of Aquarium. looks to open up behind the bar. Maybe has a line of sight here. The bars aren't going to be too kind for him, and the player for FaZe is very dug in. But he knows exactly where this player is. Goes for the second chance. Cameraman, is he going to get caught out on the rotation? The answer is no. Cyber drops and takes Rare down. It's all down to highs. He's getting the feeling that he's going to be run out on. Yes, he is. A massive last couple of rounds there for Cyber. He's really, really stepped up. Double C4 in the previous. Opening kill again inside of this one. And a slew of kills to back it up. Puts FaZe on a match point.
Great stuff from FaZe, and they will take that potential penultimate round. This could be our final round now coming up. Can FaZe do it? Can they take this victory and cement themselves as the #1 team this year? Or will Furia show us? Well, they have been a hot topic as of late, Ollie. They have been pitched as really the next team to make a big splash in international competition. I think we've seen a bit of a glimpse of that at Mexico, Ollie. A great hard-fought fight against BDS. Wasn't enough, though. But then again, that is BDS, Ollie, one of the top teams in the world. They put up a great fight. But we know that the skill ceiling of Furia is immense. Immensely high.
It is, and you know, it's you think about where Furia were 12 months ago. They were facing relegation. They fought back from that relegation, and then they go to 2 international events the very next year. That's a hell of a glow up, no matter which way you cut it. Not only do they go to the events, but they get themselves out of groups both times. That's the impressive thing about Furia. They are a team that can. But you do just get the feeling that FaZe are fighting for something a little bit more here today. They want the legacy. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for legacy. They want to be known as the team that were the best across all 3 stages in the 2021 season of the BR6. And 1 round stands between them and that being a reality. Chance still for Furia to take one back, and honestly, looking at how this game has played out so far, Demo, it really wouldn't surprise me. This has been a very back and forth game right up until the last couple of rounds, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Furia with a little burst of energy here.
And one point that you also made, Ollie, was Furia have never beaten FaZe. In the six past series that they played, FaZe has always came out on top. The closest one we probably had would have been an Invitational in the group stages, where it was an 8-7 win to FaZe. Very, very close, but still, a win's a win. Doesn't matter how close you get. In the record book, it will say that FaZe won. So, this is again a lot riding from Furia. Can they finally break that mold? Can they say that, yes, we have taken down a team which we have struggled with in the past? At the moment, it's not looking too good for them. It's going to be this Penthouse and Furia, and it was, I think, a well-orchestrated round from Furia. They had 2 opening picks very early on, but you can see the difference, Ollie. FaZe have not allowed them to get that. I say that, though. Now, Cyber has been eliminated.
Big pick. Cyber, he's popped off the last couple of rounds. Slower start from FaZe. They're feeling the pressure of that match point looming. Quite possibly. Fantasy, been able to pick one off. He's still going to be holding on through Hall of Fame. Miracle does have Selma charges here that he could try and use. I believe that electrical is going to be a little bit too late. Cameraman needs to get himself out of dodge here. Rotates round. Astro already willing to challenge onto that breach. You just start to see FaZe reshuffle themselves here. Cameraman, unlikely to get out of this position alive. It's all about how much time can he burn. Can he remove any utility, like the Glorious Drones coming in. He's not going to be able to remove that, though, Demo. The nade, perfectly cooked from Fantasy, sails on through. Furia aren't out of this yet.
Always a rough one to see a nade kill happen whenever you have a Jaeger and a Wamai on board. It's a rough one. A really tough pill to swallow from FaZe, and now they are in deep waters, and there's sharks starting to circle around them. Furia have their VIP control. They have a man in double window. It's only really a matter of time. A great pick from Landa lurking below, using vertical holds that I believe were made by FaZe in that element. So this is rough. Diffuser going down. Nobody been able to deny. This has been a picturesque round from Furia, and we go to overtime.
Where have those rounds been? Flawless for Furia. Great execute into VIP. It took them a good deal of time to make it happen, but their patience paid off there. They played to the whistle right up until the bitter end. The plant even going down in the dying few stages there as well. They've leveled it up. They've taken us to an overtime. Were we going anywhere else, Demo? Was there anywhere else that this game was going to... After we saw the first 2 rounds, it was set, it was written in the stars that this was going to be an OT game.
Yeah, but you had a bit of an inkling, didn't you, that, yeah, there would be something in the water for this game, and certainly there is. Very, very close. 6-6 has been impressive. I think both sides have had some great moments, some great ups and downs, and, I mean, is there a real surprise that we're seeing 4-2 splits in both half for both teams? I mean, that's run-of-the-mill. That is just Coastline in a nutshell, and I don't know who this favors now, but probably you'd like to fancy Furia. They get the attack for the next 3 rounds. Well, they start an attack for the next 3 rounds.
Furia have done pretty well on the attack as well. As you mentioned there, the 4-2 splits been the order of the day, so it's quite possible that based on the way that the game has gone up until this point, it's almost advantage Furia right now. The majority of rounds here have been won on the attack. Let's see if that is a trend that continues or not. Hookah and Billiards going to be our site choice the first round of overtime. I always like seeing players pay attention to where they like to place drone. And it's happened again! How can it happen again, Demo?
Oh,
how?
My word.
That shouldn't be allowed to happen again. That is disgusting. I wasn't even going to bring it up at the time. I was going to keep on my drone spiel because I just thought it's impossible. 1, there's no way that Cyber goes for it. And 2, there's no way that Furia fall for it. And they fell for it.
And also, that's the Thatcher gone. So now they don't really have a way of opening up. The mute jammers are opening up those high claws that are going to be scattered around. Fantasy almost gets taken out there by the C4, but it's quick enough to shoot before cameraman can react. Miracle, nice rotate upstairs onto the rooftop. And will find that easy kill for himself. But Furia, again, still in hot water, Ollie. They lost those 2 opening picks. Very default C4. That it is one of those that you wouldn't expect it to happen, but it's happened moment. And you just have to push on. You just have to see what you can do and recover from it. I think Furia still definitely have potential if they get some nade kills from below, if that starts working for them. Unfortunately, they have wasted a few nades and got nothing in return, however. 1 nade is all that is left. Fantasy has that in his back pocket. See Fantasy actually rotating over towards that hatch by bathroom, so maybe he's looking to hit them from a position that FaZe are not ready for. Again, he does have Diffuser, all he has to be careful. If he tries to go for a hero play, which we know he can go for, and he is a fan of, if he loses his engagement, that's Diffuser on the other side of the map, far away from his teammates.
Miracle isn't in a position where he can lose here. He needs to win this engagement, as you say. The Diffuser being in VIP would be a bit of a nightmare. But Furia, due to the numbers, are having to operate fairly separately at the moment. They can't really buddy up. Fantasy pushes on through, takes down Astro, needs to win this engagement on the Cool Vibe stairs. How is that not a headshot? Dodges out on the C4. How does he get away with this sort of stuff? Miracle's taken down Cyber, and it's advantage Furia. A Finker Stim to give a little bit of health back, and Miracle is going to start to get the plant down inside of Hookah. The Cool Vibe stairs are being covered, but not sufficiently. Fantasy is going to be there to be able to take that player down, and Souls once again left in the clutches. 1 versus 2 this time. Already picked up the first 2. Needs to find the last one. He knows where the Diffuser is. Upside down repel. Miracle. He's going to be on tops. He has a chance here at clutching this one out. Souls maybe goes for the run out. Maybe goes for a little bit of aggression. Doesn't have any utility to work with. No C4 left available. And he's just trying to bait out this plant. He doesn't know where Miracle is. Miracle. You need to try and push on to this. You can't leave it too late. The barricade's still being in place. It's a nightmare this time, Demo! Souls! He's done it!
Unbelievable! Unbelievable from Souls! Another clutch added to his belt. And that might be the best one of them all. My oh my. What? And Ollie, if you look at some of those engagements, those are really difficult shots to hit. One guy in double window, he wins. Massive shot on the Fantasy by Vase. And then winning on that window. That was always going to be a tough one from Souls because the Diffuser being placed there, there's 1,000,001 places he could be. He was expecting him to be out on the stairs. Went for the Diffuse. And I think they just heard just a little bit of movement on the rappel, and Souls knew. We seen Souls look over. That's whenever we knew he knows there's a man in the rappel. He baits him out perfectly, and as soon as we see just a bit of gunfire go through the window, Souls responds and gets the shot, and just has about enough time. Clutch off the split.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Souls is slowly but surely cementing himself as one of the best clutch players inside of the BR6. And there is nobody that can question it. There's no one that can throw that claim into question. How, for a start, I mean, we could talk about that round for a good 30 minutes. We could do a full podcast on it, Demo. The fact that Furia even got to a 3 versus 2 was impressive. The fact that they were able to get the plant down was incredible. Given the start, don't forget the double C4 from Cyber to kick the round off again. It just was like, oh no, we're going through the motions here. Furia, that's it. You know, they've lost that round. They've just got to reset. No, they get themselves into a winning position. Then we see I mean, why that barricade was still in place, I'll never know. I'll be honest, in the heat of the moment, I was wondering if it just looked as though it was there for us and it was a sort of a spectator thing, where we were like, yeah, the barricade looks like it's in place, but it's actually clear for Miracle and he can see through it. I wasn't sure if Miracle had opened it intentionally, left it closed, or if it was just bugged. So I was like, I'm sure it's open because you wouldn't leave it closed. But it was closed. And it gives Souls enough time. And to be fair, he's hit his shots. You know, it was 4 of the best shots you're ever going to see in your life with an SMG.
Phenomenal. So, FaZe. Momentum has swung massively. That's a tilter of a round. Like you said, Furia did extremely well to actually come back into that game. Into that round, should I say. And the fact that they still lost it is going to be really, really tough now to pull things back. And Cyber kick things off with an opening kill on the highs. Cyber, 18 kills. We talked about how well Fantasy's been playing. Look at Cyber right now. He is on top of the game. We see a Ying, we see smokes, we see everything. The pings come out. Astro knows where the pre-fire, and FaZe have rushed into the bomb site. Another Toxic Babe, though, will claim a life of FaZe, and another one. Single Toxic Babe gets 2 kills. This happened again, Ollie.
This is a game that is repeating itself so far. There's some real oddities that have happened a couple of times. The Toxic Babe kills, the double C4s. Everything really working against the attackers, it seems. Miracle, he's under fire. Tarp's window. Bullet that's going to be in position there. Puts a good couple of shots in. Doesn't take him down, though. Rare going to be the next player to find a kill onto Cyber. Twitch Drone nearly doing the business there onto Miracle. He isn't all too much health. The diffuser cold in the site isn't ideal. Souls can keep an eye on it, but so can the player inside of Aquarium. Souls is going to be looking to try and figure out if anybody is going to peek. He's got a chance from that double window to make something happen, but instead makes the rotation. 45 seconds left here for FaZe to try and make something happen with. A Miracle, he's going to be DBNO'd. Effective 2 versus 2 now. Souls trying to bait out the engagement from behind the bar. The C4 comes through, and it is shot mid-air. Bullet still on that Tarp's repel, but Souls is continuing to hit his shots. The F2 doing bits. He's been able to take Rare down. A very quick revive here as Furia are scrambling for numbers. We do make it back into a 2 versus 2. The diffuser now has a chance of being recovered, especially if Souls has anything to say about it. 1-for-1 trade as Souls takes down Miracle, but Lender immediately there with the refrag. Lender now, a lot of pressure on his shoulders as Bullet looks to move through. On 6 to burn the Aruni gate, the diffuser recovered, but it doesn't matter at this moment in time. Bullet, you need to pre-fire on through. There's 3 seconds left. Lender, keep yourself alive. Hides behind the vase, finds the frag. We could be going all the way here, Demo.
Oh, 7-7 now. Furia responding. Another round where FaZe are in the lead. 5 versus 3. They had the 2 opening picks. They brought a Ying. They forced the Ying very early on. And 2 of them died to a single smoke canister. That's happened twice to them. Twice. They have tried to flood an aquarium, and a simple smoke has shut it all down.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's really strange. Like, you do see that occasionally. You know, maybe every 20 games or something, you'll see a couple of Toxic Babe canister kills in one round. But to see two kills from one canister twice in one game is a little bit of an exception to the rule. A double C4 thrown in the same place onto the same two players happening again, just something that you just never see happen the same, twice in one game. It has been a weird one for that sort of stuff, but I'm here for it. Maximum overtime now between these two. Furia on the attack. FaZe on the defense. Both teams deserve to be here at this point. Furia arguably have had more of the team performance, where you look over to FaZe and you can kind of attest this scoreline to two players, Cyber and Souls. Both of those guys have put in some work. Souls and his clutches, it's just been incredible to watch. But all good things must come to an end, and so must this game. This is going to be the last round here.
Who will it be? I mean, both teams have kind of broke the mold. It's supposed to be kind of this attacker-sided map. Both teams showed that with a 4-2 split on either end, but both teams actually winning on the defense. So it is an interesting Fury. Does that then mean that FaZe, they have full control and they have the advantage, or then will it swing back? Maybe the attackers are ready to go again. Keep in mind, FaZe, they cannot go upstairs because Hookah has been locked out for them, so they have opted then for their Blue Bar and Sunrise. Probably out of the free bomb sites that they could have chosen, I would say their best one, their best opportunity. We've seen what Furia did to Penthouse and Fury. They dismantled it. We've seen what they did to Kitchen. Again, another dismantle. I think this is probably a good shot now for FaZe to really see out this game.
You can almost feel the tension building here in this one. It's been a minute and we haven't seen any action about this game. We've seen all sorts. We've seen 3 kills inside of 50 seconds. We've seen rounds that have only really gotten going in the last minute. You just know that with the amount that's riding on this round, this is going to be a little bit more of a slow burner. Furia still trying to find that entry. Very often been found externally from either one of these teams, really. Bit of info there being gathered. Fantasy, he doesn't need much, does he? All he needs is a little bit of a call out, and that's it. First blood in the bag. Managed to take down Bullet in sight. Cyber, unsure. Doesn't know if anyone's actually pushed on through off the back of that. Soul's going to be playing way back inside of Bar. Players looking to push through Kitchen now. Cameraman above does get taken down there by Miracle, but it's a 1-for-1. A really good trade there. I'm surprised the cameraman landed the shots. Still, advantage here to Furia.
Souls will lose his deployable shield, and that means Kitchen is a much more difficult position to hold on to from the defense. The fact that Fury have that Kitchen does open up a lot of options. They have rotations now. They can cut off anyone who wants to move from one bomb site to another. Looking at the Flores, Rare's actually decided to go upstairs and maybe assist Landa, as they're still looking to apply some upstairs pressure. There is one player above, and that will be Astro. Hasn't had the greatest of games so far, but come off the man. Come off the hour, I suppose. Oh dear, that is not wise from Fantasy. Tries to just crash walk in, but Cyber is ready for him. Is Cyber ready, though, for the man inside of Kitchen? Highs is close on the wall. Diffuser will be planted inside of Sunrise, and FaZe have to scramble to try and retake.
The plant will go down successfully there. Cyber does take down Lender, levels it up to an equal 2 versus 2. Gets a glimpse, but isn't able to land the shots. Astro looking to move on through as well.
Eyes.
They haven't got a lot of information here, and I don't think that they know that somebody's playing inside of Kitchen at the moment. Astro could try and get himself on the diffuser, but no, Highs is going to strike from the Kitchen, takes down Cyber. Push now comes through from Rare. Furia, they are going to take the game here. An overtime win against FaZe.
I was not expecting that. Furia just kind of sat around, Ollie. Seen that nobody was in sight and thought, oh, we can plant, and they did exactly that. Furia, after having a sloppy past performances over the course of the previous 2 days, Ollie, they have responded extremely well, and they have taken down FaZe. They finally get their victory against FaZe, so out of the 7 series, they can finally say that we beat them once.
And it's deserved. You know, we've seen these two have close games in the past. But that really was a little bit of a war there. We couldn't have asked for more out of that fixture. We honestly couldn't. It's been one of the most exciting games of Siege I've seen in a very long time. Both of the top fraggers on either side, it was like 20 and 11 and 20 and 12, something like that. Fantasy and Rare, and then Cyber Souls. So they were really putting in a mammoth shift and both going head to head and deserved of going all the way to maximum overtime. Couple of really nice adaptations there by Furia in the end, holding on in the post plant and really making it work for them. I'm not sure I'm ready for the next 4 games, and that's right, we've got 4 more after this one. Chunks, get yourself back in here and let's unpack that game, and I'm sure we've got an interview with Twister lined up.
That was a really impressive game right there from both FaZe and Furia. Obviously, Furia coming out on top, but Demo, it felt like FaZe just had clutch after clutch in that game. We had Cyber with 2 massive rounds towards the end, then we had Souls as well with a huge clutch in the first round of overtime. It felt like, you know, towards the end, it was going to be FaZe's game.
Yeah, it did. I thought it kind of swung into their favor as soon as Souls kind of sucked the whole momentum away from Furia. It was definitely looking likely that they would go on to win that game, but it just didn't happen for them. Thankfully, though, for FaZe, even though it was a loss, they still done enough to claim #1 position of the year. They've only gotten a point from that game, but it is 1 point too many, actually, for Liquid. So I believe now that sits FaZe Clan on 59 points, Liquid currently on 56. Even if Liquid go on later to win their game clean and they take 3 points, because FaZe beat Liquid way back in week #1, that means that FaZe will become your #1 team of this year, BR6.
Well, it's exciting to see the fact that FaZe, you know, have made it to that first slot. But of course, Furia, Ollie, with an extremely strong game right there. Really strong individual performances, but most importantly, being able to play as a team. And even when that momentum did get stopped by FaZe in overtime, they were able to carry it over. We do have Twister here for an interview from Furia. And wow, it was such an impressive game, Twister.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Yeah, it was a really good match for us. I'm pretty happy to finish this BR6 this way. It was an exciting match.
Yeah, your first win over FaZe Clan, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that must be a good feeling. Is that going to be a big confidence boost going into the Copa Elite 6?
For sure, I believe that this win against FaZe Clan showed to the team that we can beat anyone. As you said, we already beat Liquid, we already beat NIP, MyBR, but we never beat FaZe Clan. So this first time just show us how we are improving and what we are capable of for this Elite 6.
Twister, it probably was one of the best games that I can remember watching just for sheer excitement in not knowing which way it was going to go. And something that made it a little bit more entertaining, should we say, were those C4s from Cyber. Please, can you tell Highs and Rare that they just can't spawn there. They can't run up the same way. It happened twice. We were gobsmacked when it happened. We couldn't believe it. I think we've got a video. We could probably play the clip and you can give us your thoughts over it.
In the final round, yeah, it was 2 times in a row. In the last round of the match, the only thing that I focused to say to them is, guys, just calm down, stay slow to go out of the spawns. You don't have to rush. This round is ours. You just have to go on your time, not the time of the other team. So they slow it down a little bit. And the round just flew it to our way because FaZe was being so aggressive, and we started to punish their aggressiveness.
Twister, it is the end of the BR6 for you guys now. We're at the end of Stage 3. It's the end of the year, pretty much, and you guys throughout the year have consistently improved. I know that Ollie has been a super fan since day one, how you're a team on the rise. I want to ask, what's next for you guys? What's next after BR6? Where do you see, you know, Furia in the future? Do you see yourself as one of the #1 teams in the world going forward?
First of all, I just want to say that I'm pretty happy about our evolution on this year. From a team that was on the 10th place on the last year, this year we finished in third. I believe that with this win, with 2 points, we finished in third. So I'm pretty happy about the improvement of the team. And for next, we have to qualify for the sixth major. We have to qualify for the invitational, and we will fight for the championship. As Team One proved that a younger team can win a championship, and NIP just opened the way for the Brazilians to win international tournament. So we want to be the third team to win this world championship.
Well, with that kind of performance, I definitely know it's a possibility. Twister, thank you so much for joining us, and have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone, and don't forget to buy the Furia skins on Yana and Jäger to help and support us. Thank you, guys.
Well, that's it. Game number 1 is down. Usually right now I'd say we've still got 3 games to go, but tonight, because it's Super Sunday, still 4 matches remaining. So grab yourself a snack and a drink, because it's going to be a long night of Siege and you don't want to miss any of it.